finishes with the worst uphill climb of the whole cross-country tour. Good run by Follis, but missing out on the podium finish, and you can see that in her body language. She's very, very disappointed. Good work by Longa. Email coming in saying, do you think Stefania Belmondo could have won the Tour de Ski? I think she would be a good candidate, but she would have had to have improved herself on the sprinting stages.
Oh, she would have, but it's certainly on the climb, Stefania Belmondo would have been amazing. And of course, they did have the Legends race earlier this morning at 10 o'clock. Torgny Morgren, Gunde Svan.
Was Annette Bow racing?
I'm not sure if Annette was.
She would have been a very, very tough competitor to beat. Norwegian from the late 70s, early 80s, going on into well into the 80s. 5th place for Follis, finally getting ahead of Majdic. So Kalle, 4:27 down, the best of the Swedes, former winner of the Tour de Ski. Not as easy as it was in the early days. Take nothing away from Kalle, she missed out on bonuses in the sprints, and that really damaged her hopes. Majdic, Mike, 2nd at the start of yesterday's race, now has to settle for 6th place.
And 2nd in the Tour overall last year, 6th place this year. I think she'll still be satisfied. She's put in some very, very good performances, and skating up this hill, it was never her strong point.
Yeah, she knew she was going to pay a price for working so hard in the sprint events. She said it is worth the price to get back into winning ways.
And she was winning those sprints by almost 5 seconds, almost impossible.
Yeah, a word for Lähteenmäki, 8th place in her first ever Tour de Ski. She's a youngster, and she is without doubt going to be the next star of the Finnish team.
Marta Elden from 12th up into 9th place.
Elden started 6:24 behind, so she's gained a minute on Justyna Kowalczyk. Not many people are going to be able to claim to have done that. Lähteenmäki started the day in 8th, actually, Mike, and so she's held on to her position, and pretty much exactly the same margin, just lost 13 seconds over the course of the 9 kilometers. That is a very, very good run from her. Jakobsen, I think, coming across the line.
Jakobsen, she started, she's faded a little bit at the end there, Patrick. She hit it so hard early on, but I think it just shows us the intensity which Justyna has attacked her race. She didn't back off. She gave her absolute best once again, because those times in relation to Kowalczyk are very, very similar to how they started today.
Number 12, Marta Elden, just having the timing devices now. How does Majdic look after all that effort? I wonder what we're going to see from her in the rest of the tour, the World Cup Tour. Is she going to be able to recover in time? She looks a spent force at the moment.
Oh, she does, but at 10th day, eight extremely difficult races, and it certainly didn't affect her last year. She came back good for the Olympics.
Riitta-Liisa Ropponen, the quickest climber on the hill last year in 35:52. Can't quite repeat that performance. Jakobsen holding her own. Ropponen holding her position of 11th. Coming in for the Ukraine, Shevchenko, always a good climber, and Shevchenko's had a very good performance indeed. Started 21st and has finished in 13th. She's 8:57 behind. In fact, she's only gained 7 seconds on Justyna Kowalczyk, but I thought maybe she would be contending Johaug for the quickest time, but no, she's a long, long way outside that performance. Maria Rydqvist of Sweden started 8:25 behind. The effort just about finishing her off.
It just shows there is no backing off from any of these top-class cross-country skiers. They can take themselves to a level which isn't quite normal. You have to push through the pain barrier, then push a whole lot further.
Here comes Aina-Kaisa Saarinen. The Finns with a very good record. Koitinen has won the title twice, in 2007, the initial year, and then in 2009. Kalla won in 2008, Kowalczyk won last year, and she's won again this year. So still only 3 different winners of the Tour de Ski as far as the women go, and the honours shared by Finland, Poland, and of course Kalla from Sweden.
And this is in the far distance there. There was a wave of 20 athletes starting all 7 minutes behind. So, well, a lot of them have stuck together.
Good race with Aurore Gien and Cécilia Bourgeois, who started very tightly packed together, and Mikhailova just beating them across the line. Nestorenko of the Ukraine, some way behind her teammate Shevchenko. And the reason the times are going up so fast is because they're taking into account their position before the start. As Mike said, they all started together. So that's why these positions are chopping and changing a little bit.
It's amazing, isn't it? Their athletes are so conditioned to technique and holding good technique that as soon as they can relax, the legs can't even support them. It's collapsing across the line.
Johansson of Sweden not enjoying the climb one little bit. Number 32, that's Masiszek of Poland. Her teammate is on top of the podium, enjoying the climb one little bit. Number 32, that's Masiszek of Poland. Her teammate is on top of the podium this evening, as she has been many times on the tour already. Now, in terms of World Cup points, Mike, Kowalczyk leading at the start of today by some 71 points over Marit Bjørgen. Bjørgen, of course, not picking up a single point on the Tour de Ski. Kowalczyk's going to get a few points for today's race, plus the 200 for winning the Tour de Ski. Is that game over as far as the World Cup goes?
Well, it's certainly going to get Marit Bjørgen realise that in all the races left until the 20th of March, I think it is, she's going to have to be placing herself in the top 3, and that's really taking into account that Justina's going to have to be a little off form after this. So I think really, in all reality, it's going to be almost too big a challenge for Bjørgen to win the overall World Cup.
And do you think that's right? Do you think what you've got to do is ensure that the big names want to come and compete in the Tour de Ski? That's essential. But if it becomes, as it seems to have done, that the winner of the Tour de Ski is going to win the overall World Cup without a doubt, then maybe we need to reconsider it.
I think so. Maybe awarding slightly less points, as first place picking up the 400 and then the bonuses along the way. Maybe it is a little bit of an imbalance over 10 days of racing. Instead of looking for the best cross-country skier from November until the end of March, it does certainly spike the whole season.
Well, I guess you have to appreciate where Marit Bjørgen comes from. Firstly, she feels that this sort of racing is too intense for her, and she certainly doesn't want to suffer a form drop-off like we saw in 2006. But also, the World Championships held in her home city in Oslo, and that, of course, is so important to her.
And it was the same last year. Bjørgen deciding not to come along here to race, and of course she walked away from the Olympics with so many medals, 3 gold.
And the same with the Swedes. Haag didn't race, Kalla didn't race, and both of them picking up medals out in Vancouver as well. So it is such a hard program, the Tour de Ski, that it will have an influence on the rest of the season, whether you like it or not. Kowalczyk and Majdic both coming home from Vancouver with far less precious metal than they were expecting. Now let's have a quick look at the results. The top 6 there on the screen. Kowalczyk, Johaug, Longer on the podium. Follows Kalla in 4th, and 5th further down, Marta Kristoffersson. Good work from her. And Lehtomäki of Finland, really astonished by what she's achieved. She's a young skier. She's proved herself to be a gutsy one. Shevchenko, no sprinter, but she's a great hill climber, and she's had a good run today. Kicken Randall moving up 1 place from 22nd into 21st in her first ever Tour de Ski. But love to talk to her to see what she makes of the Tour de Ski program. But it is Justyna Kowalczyk who's come out on top this year. Mike, your man of the match?
Well, definitely the athlete of the day is definitely Therese Johaug, but the athlete of the tour, a lot of respect for Justyna Kowalczyk. She does nothing wrong. She keeps on fighting every day, and it's only that way where you can win over such a tough 10-day period.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how they get on when the World Cup Tour resumes in Liberec on the 15th of January. They've really not got very long, 6 days to recover from their efforts here. Marit Bjørgen will be back in action. That was the finishing celebration of Teresa Johaug. My goodness, she deserves a party tonight. That was an astonishing effort. She didn't quite catch Kowalczyk, but she gave it an unbelievable effort. Well, that just about completes our coverage for now. Remember, the men still have to go through the same. I wonder if a few of them have been watching it on the telly and just thinking, my goodness, what have I let myself in for?
Can you imagine the nerves leading into this? In fact, Petter Northug was saying he just had a very early night last night, just wanted to totally relax. He doesn't think it's possible to catch Colonia, though. Yeah, Colonia, the hot favourite to win the men's, as we have another look at the overall standings in the women's Tour de Ski for 2010-2011. An unbelievable event, very exciting racing, total domination by Justyna Kowalczyk. She has shown no weaknesses this week, and she walks away with the title for the second year in succession. Well, we've got a couple of moments, Mike. Your prediction on the men's race? I really can't see anyone beating Dario Colonia. He's got such a lead.
Now, there you see the standings in the World Cup. 1-2-7-1 for Kowalczyk. Bjørgen has gone from first down to fourth. Astonishing, considering she hasn't picked up a single point over the last 10 days. And now she has to resume battle with all of those who've exhausted themselves over the last 8 races. And it's going to be a very interesting affair. She needs to be as dominant as she was prior to the Tour de Ski. Well, that's all we've got time for now. Do remember that the men will be in action a little later on today, and they're racing over exactly the same course. Dario Colonia of Switzerland is the man who's built a lead of over a minute over Petter Northug. Hope you'll join us for that, but for now, from Val di Fiemme and the Tour de Ski, goodbye.